Moving on to college football now, where Tennessee had a monster win on Saturday, 62-24 at Missouri. And it was really the coming out party for Josh Heupel's offense. That up-tempo spread really had the Tigers on their heels the entire day. Tennessee scored on all but one of its possessions in the game. They got 45 points in the first half, 6 touchdowns and a field goal, and kept pouring it on in the second half. Hendon Hooker, I think he's the quarterback of this team moving forward. He played fantastic again for them. 670-plus yards total offense, 458 yards on the ground. It was an impressive offensive performance, and those have been few and far between in recent years for Tennessee football. So I know Vols fans welcome that with open arms. So now Tennessee gets a big SEC win there. And now they come back to Rocky Top. Back-to-back games at home, starting this weekend with South Carolina. And the Vols are 10-point favorites for that game, a game that they need to win. I think, frankly, they're better than South Carolina. And playing at home, this is one they need to get, and they should be confident. Confidence should be sky high based on the way they played on both sides of the ball. The offense played great, but so did the defense, really, against Missouri. The defense has been solid throughout the course of the season, I think, for Tennessee. And if the offense can start to string games together like what they did on Saturday, all of a sudden, this season could turn the corner for Josh Heupel and the Vols. Here was the head coach earlier this week talking about the game and now looking forward to the South Carolina matchup this weekend.
Opening statement, and then we will get a mic to you as usual. Coach?
Guys, hey, first of all, just recapping the game, getting a chance to go back and watch it. Really pleased with a lot of the effort that our kids played with. In all 3 phases of the game. The great thing about the video is you get a chance to come back and have a chance to correct a lot of things too. A lot of positives, but a lot of things that we can be a lot better on special teams, how we function, coaching staff and everybody. Obviously, the kickoff return for a touchdown, have an opportunity to fit that a lot better than we did and make a play that doesn't change the momentum in the football game. Defensively, a ton of positives, the way we were able to stop the run, but there's some simple things that we can do in alignment assignment to get off the field quicker than we did. And offensively, although we were efficient in the run game, there's still opportunities for us to be a whole lot better and some things in the pass game that we can clean up as well. So excited that we got a result that we did. At the same time, you come back in the building on Monday, and it's about how we get better. The challenge is always going to be how fast we can be as good as we can, and I think our guys had the right mentality coming into the building today and going through our Monday. Got a big test this week, South Carolina, good football team. You look at how they've played inside the conference already against 2 really quality opponents. For us offensively, we got to do a great job of running the football and being balanced. Defensively, got to control and dominate the line of scrimmage. Special teams will be a huge part in this football game. They've found ways to change the game on special teams. We got to do a great job and minimize their opportunities and plays there. I mentioned it earlier, but our crowd has been phenomenal in the 2 road games. Ton of support, ton of people showing up, great energy. The last couple of weeks, great opportunity this week with a big football game for us being back inside of Neyland Stadium here, being gone a couple of weeks. Can't wait to see that thing packed out and create a really good home field advantage. It's a unique opportunity for us fans and as a program to honor one of the greats that has come through here too, Al Wilson on Saturday, being able to recognize him going into the College Football Hall of Fame this year, a day that's designated towards him. Just in the short time of me being here, getting an opportunity to know him, his passion and his care for this program is real. His impact as a player obviously was real. Love nothing more than hearing some of the stories of him as a great leader and obviously a great player inside of our program while I was here, listening to a bunch of his teammates in particular as guys came back in spring football. Might have been around the spring football game and just getting a chance to hear those guys. So with that, I'll open it up to questions from you guys.
Questions, we'll start with Adam, then we'll go to Lance.
Josh, you've talked a lot about the last 48 hours, obviously, before a game. What's the origin of that? Is that something that you picked up to emphasize as a player or a coach over the years? Where did that come from?
I just think finishing the process out the right way. Tuesday and Wednesday are heavy work days for us. Thursday's a walk-through. Friday we pick up the speed on the practice field, being engaged. If you're a 2 and not getting the rep, being lined up, getting the mental rep, it's impossible to get everybody every rep with every call on either side of the ball against all the multiple formations or defenses that you're going to see. And so being completely dialed into that process, not tight, but dialed in when it's time to work. Being on time, doing the right things as far as, what you look like when we're traveling, our meetings at the hotel, being on time to pregame meal, all of those things play into keeping the most important thing. And when you're in the football setting, it's football.
But you didn't pick that up from somewhere else. So not every coach says the last 48 hours. That's kind of your thing.
It's been our thing here because we haven't been as consistent as we need to be, and as you point those things out, that's the reality of where I think we're at as a program. Our practice habits have continued to get better. We still got to improve there, but the last 40 hours have been a point of emphasis for everybody in our program, pointing out some things that weren't right this past week too.
And sorry, one more on that. Where do you see in a game where does it show up that the last 48 was good, and where does it show up the last 48 was bad?
It shows up in the little things. Some of those are big things that you guys see. Drop ball, missed protection. Some of them are little details that you can't tell. Hat placement, hands, 6-inch step, the way we communicate on the sidelines. There's a rhyme and reason behind everything that we're doing in our program. And, those things play out on game day.
Josh, the players have been saying that they believe in what y'all are doing here. They understand what they can do, the upside of this thing. When you see, you are a player yourself, when you go out there and have a game, an SEC game where you score 62 points, is that something that can really put off a light bulb for players like, if you execute at this pace, this is what can happen?
The end result of the performance on Saturday, the good in all 3 phases, right? People, I think, paid attention to the offense, but the defense played a outstanding football game too. The result is awesome because of the work that the players have been putting in. Sometimes that's not recognized or seen by fans or the TV audience when you play a football game. But the process, as we continue to grow in it, should lend itself to more consistent performances. Absolutely, the performance from the other day should create buy-in from our players and trust in what we're doing as a football staff and everything that we're doing, from strength and conditioning to nutrition to our on the field, calls, playbook, whatever it might be.
Eric?
Looking at South Carolina, what are some of the challenges they do offensively and defensively for you guys?
On the defensive side of the football, they've been really good up front. They've created turnovers. They attack the football. We got to do a great job of taking care of it the last 2 weeks. That's been really important, done a good job. There's things that we've pointed out on film where the ball is loose, and you got to be ready for a defender to be there, and we can be more consistent, better with the football in our hands. Offensively, we got to do a great job of dominating the line of scrimmage. I think that's going to be critical in this football game, force them into third and long situations, and then be able to play really good third down defense. And that can be, base 4 down, or it can be bringing pressure, or it can be drop 8 too. I didn't think we executed early in the football game the way we're capable of on third down.
Ben and Rob.
Just what have you seen from Hendon over the last couple of games? Seems like he's really starting to hit a stride, both from an efficiency standpoint and taking care of the football.
Has been better taking care of the football with the ball in his hands. Some of our meshes have been better, more consistent. I think that happens as you get more time on task together with the same guys. I think as much as anything, great comfort and understanding of what we're doing, the tempo. He's been really in control of what's going on at the line of scrimmage. Been really good with his eyes, and that's allowed him to be really decisive with the football. Was extremely accurate the other day. A lot of that stems from eyes in the right place, seeing things really clearly. That allows you to get your body in the right spot.
Coach, that's the most we've seen from Laneith Whitehead since he's been here. Just talk about his performance, if you could, and that means from going forward?
Yeah, I think maybe a week or two ago I talked about, a guy that was banged up in the offseason, was rehabbing with our strength and conditioning staff, had a really good summer, and just has steadily grown throughout training camp in the early part of the season. I think it's a great lesson for guys inside of our program that sometimes things don't happen exactly when you want them to. You continue to work, you continue to strain, you continue to learn on the field and off the field, and eventually your opportunity is going to come, and when you get that opportunity, you're going to be ready for it. I thought he did a really good job the other day of pressing the line of scrimmage, has the ability to make some guys miss more on the back end early in the football game when he was in there, but did a really good job in pass protection too, so I like a lot of what we saw from Leneath the other day.
Rick and Brent.
Coach Don Evans had a couple touchdowns there in the first quarter. How important just has he been to this team and what it wants to do on offense? And then also, is there any update on Jabari Small?
Tyon continues to grow. Did some really good things first week, got nicked up and wasn't able to go for a week there. I think he continues to grow in his understanding. If you watch him at the running back position from the other day, man, he's doing a great job of being on his track and pressing the line of scrimmage. And that allows, if you got a double team between your left guard and left tackle to press vertically and get on the second level. And that creates space for the running back when he gets outside. I thought he did a really good job as fronts changed of understanding how things would be blocked and pressing it and, hit it inside when it was supposed to. And when he had an opportunity to bounce it and get to grass, he did a great job there. He made some people miss too, which is really important. It's going to be important in this ball game too as they load the box and make it difficult to run.
Josh Heupel wrapping up what was an impressive win in Missouri over the weekend. Now they get set for South Carolina, as you mentioned. Challenges there against Shane Beamer and that defense and what they're trying to do. Our phone line's still open here on the program if you'd like to get in. We go back to the lines now and say hello to Mark. Mark, good evening. What's on your mind tonight?
Yes, I just want to ask the coach if they get an opportunity to play in the Music City Bowl, are they going to turn that down this time?
I don't.
That's a good enough question.
Well, he's not with us. That's his press conference from the other day, so I can't physically ask him that. But I have a feeling that Josh Heupel wants to do everything that he can to get Tennessee across this, or get the program of Tennessee across the state of Tennessee. They need to win the home state when it comes to recruiting and some of those things. So I would imagine if they have the opportunity to be in the Music City Bowl, frankly this year, if they can get into any bowl, given what happened last year and with Heupel coming on, they're going to be excited about that. But especially if they can get into the Music City Bowl here in Nashville, I got to think Tennessee would be crawling over themselves to have that opportunity this season.
All right, buddy. I appreciate y'all asking that for me.
You bet. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate the call. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Vanderbilt head coach Clark Lee. The Doors got a big win over the weekend as well. We'll talk about that and more coming up here on SportsLine.